This is Valmiki Ramayan, Season 6, Episode 1, Crossing the Ocean. Previously, we saw how the Vanaras had come up to the southern seashore as they searched for Sita. After many days of a futile search, they had finally found out that Ravan had taken Sita to Lanka. But how to go across the 100 yojanas of sea to get to Lanka? No one could do this. No one was even willing to try. Except Hanuman. Attempting the impossible, he leapt off towards Lanka. And thus begins the 5th book of the Ramayana, the Sundarkand.
Leapt off? Did Hanuman swim across the ocean or did he go flying?
Hanuman's epic journey is described in the first sarga of the Sundarkand, the longest sarga of the entire Ramayana. And the words are clear. Hanuman swam to Lanka. But Valmiki's poetic brilliance is such that the image left in our mind is of Hanuman flying through the sky. At the end of Kishkindha-kand itself, Hanuman had said, "I will push back the sea waters with my arms. I will strike the ocean with my legs." Now Valmiki tells us more about Hanuman's swimming technique. It was akin to what we call the butterfly stroke. Ambaragatau bahu prasaritau panchasya vivapannagau. Hanuman would throw both his arms out in the air together. It seemed like a pair of 5-headed snakes had emerged. He would put his head into the water and then come out looking upwards, his mouth open. Pibanniva babhau chapi sormimalam maharnavam pipasuriva chakasham dadrishe samahakapi. It appeared as if the great Vanar wanted to drink the entire ocean. And then he looked to the sky as though he was still thirsty. His large eyes glistened brightly. He rode the mighty ocean waves on his chest. Sagarasya urmijalanam urasa abhignan. He went past them one by one so quickly as if he were counting them. And as he struck the sea with his legs, he left behind a wake of ripples and foam. But around this practical description of how Hanuman swam, Valmiki spins a web of fantastical imagery. Remember, Purvavrittam kathayuktam itihasam prachakshate. Itihas is that which has happened in the past and is told in story format, told with poetic embellishments. Valmiki poetically sees the sea as if it were the sky. He says, Hanuman leapt off towards Lanka with such speed that it caused a gale. Many flowers fell into the sea because of this wind. Tara chitam ivakasham prabhabhau samaharnavah. The sea then looked like the starry sky. And so, while Hanuman was going in and out of water, Valmiki says, Hanuman was like the moon, again and again, going behind clouds and then re-emerging. This journey was a grueling test of endurance. Luckily, on the way, Hanuman could rest for a bit on a sandbank that had emerged from the sea during low tide. But soon after that stop, he faced 2 life-threatening challenges. He got pulled into a deadly whirlpool, and an enormous saltwater crocodile attacked him. While narrating these events, Valmiki has given wings to Hanuman and to his own poetic imagination. Hanuman was cruising through the sky. His huge body looked like a mountain flying without any support. The ocean then thought, I must find a way to give Hanuman some rest. He is doing this incredible feat for the Ikshvaku dynasty, and I owe them. I had expanded my boundaries during the time of Ram's forefathers. Note, a reference to rising sea levels in an earlier era. And so, the ocean said to Mount Mainak that lay hidden under the water, O noble mountain, you have the ability to grow upwards and sideways. I urge you to rise from the sea now. Hearing that order, Mainak then pierced through the surface of the ocean and rose up, its peaks shining brilliantly. Hanuman thought that this was some obstacle in his way, and he struck the mountain with his chest. The mountain then assumed a human form, Manusham Dharayan Rupam, and said to him, You have come a long way. You are my honored guest. Please rest for a while. Hanuman replied, Thank you for your hospitality, but I cannot stay for long. I must hurry. And then the mighty Vanar touched the mountain with his hands and ascended once again to the sky with a smile on his face. Essentially, a sandbank or shoal had emerged from the ocean during low tide. Hanuman came ashore, caught his breath, and was again on his way. But soon after this, Hanuman was challenged by Surasa, the great serpent. She assumed a terrifying form, encircled Hanuman, and said to him, I shall eat you up. Hanuman explained to her why he was going to Lanka. She ought not to obstruct him. But Surasa said, There is no other way. O great Vanar, you will have to go through my mouth. Such is the boon that I have got from Brahma. And then she opened her gigantic mouth and stood in front of him. Her mouth was a massive 10 yojanas wide. But Hanuman was not intimidated. He also grew himself to an equal size. Surasa then opened her mouth to 20 yojanas. In response, an enraged Hanuman grew to become 30 yojanas tall. And thus, they both became bigger and bigger. Finally, when Surasa opened her mouth to 100 yojanas, Hanuman suddenly shrunk his body to the size of a thumb, quickly entered Surasa's mouth, and got out again. He said to her, I have been inside your mouth as per your boon. Now you must let me pass. Surasa was pleased and let him go. In simple words, Hanuman was caught in a deadly whirlpool in the middle of the sea. He made several attempts to swim out of it, but the currents kept pulling him back. There was no getting away. Eventually, he quickly went straight into the eye of the vortex and came out successfully on the other side. Valmiki's reference to Hanuman growing and reducing his size should not be taken literally. Expanding in size symbolizes growing determination, exerting more power, trying harder. Contracting in size stands for showing agility and nimbleness. Think about it. If Hanuman could actually grow to 100 yojanas, what was the need for him to swim or fly? He could have simply stepped across the sea to reach Lanka. Hanuman was once again cruising along towards Lanka. Suddenly, he was stopped in his tracks. Someone had caught his shadow, and he was unable to move forward. Hanuman looked all around and up and down. A huge being arose from the sea. It was the Rakshasi Simhika. Sugriv had warned him about her. As he had done with Surasa, Hanuman expanded himself to an enormous size. Sinhika opened her mouth wide and came for him. Hanuman then quickly contracted himself, entered the Rakshasi's mouth, struck her vital organs from inside, and got out before she could close her mouth. Hanuman's strike was lethal. The attacker's lifeless body crashed into the sea. In other words, a sea crocodile grabbed Hanuman from below. When he managed to free himself from its grip, it attacked a second time from the front. Hanuman landed a lightning-fast blow inside its wide-open mouth and killed the fierce creature. By the way, the saltwater crocodile is found even today near India's east coast and across Southeast Asia. This beast is 10 to 20 feet in length, that is, up to 3 meters long, attacks by ambush, and often swallows its prey whole. It is the apex predator, at the top of the food chain. No wonder Valmiki has called her a Sinhika, lioness. And shortly after that, Hanuman reached the shores of Lanka. He had achieved the impossible. Param samasadya samudra tiram paraihi ashakyam. Indeed, he was the son of the Lord of Wind, unstoppable. What a feat! What a story! Iti ha asa. That is how it happened.